One time he sprayed Lysol so much in my office that I could taste it in my
She
mouth.
ate Lysol.
What?
He sprayed Lysol so much that I could, every time I opened my mouth, it would like wet in my mouth. There was so much Lysol.
God.
So gross.
Welcome to the Real Estate Playground, where we cover everything in the realm of real estate with no fluff and no BS. I'm Todd Erickson.
And I'm Ray Evans. Bringing over 28 years of experience combined, we've seen the ups and downs, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between.
Join us as we take you for a ride through the real estate playground that's full of laughs, knowledge, and perhaps a few unexpected surprises.
So whether you're a realtor, home buyer, seller, investor, or just here for the hilarious stories, we've got something for everyone. Let's get into it. Was it gross or polite? It's better than the other thing.
What?
And on that note, we're going to jump straight into what we're talking about this week. So welcome, viewers and listeners. I'm Todd Erickson. We're coming to you live on episode 11 of the Real Estate Playground. And I actually wanted to make a little...
Episode once.
You always switch it to Spanish every time.
I know. I have a Spanish fetish.
But I'm going to switch the camera because now we have a new guest that will be joining us permanently moving forward on the Real Estate Playground, Miss Carrie Demers. She came in
Carrie.
from our last episode as a special guest, and like a stray cat, never left. She will be here
Just
permanently.
give her a little
Just
food, and there she is every time.
What was it that we talked about? We said, feed me.
Tell me I'm pretty.
Yeah, feed me and tell me I'm pretty.
Feed me and give me listings. Right, Ray?
Yeah, that's exactly right. If you just feed me and send me real estate listings, I'll be your friend. And
So,
real estate to the end.
This week, we're actually
the
going to
Chucky
be
doll.
discussing what?
My friend to the end.
Oh, God. With a knife.
I don't watch scary movies, so I don't know.
Anyway,
So we're actually going to be talking about difficult agents in real estate on this
I don't know any of
episode.
those. Do you?
Lies.
Lies. All lies.
I know a couple.
I do too.
100.
But we're actually going to be discussing this because I feel like everyone at some point in their real estate life had, whether you're a consumer, a buyer, a seller, or another agent within real estate, somebody has experienced a difficult agent in the real estate industry. And so I think today we kind of want to go further in depth in that type of discussion just to be able to talk about the things that could have been done better, some of our experiences, some things to watch out for, making sure you're building that rapport, that relationship with them. And if not, get out.
Get out.
Get out. They made a movie on that too. Get out.
I didn't see that one.
You never saw that movie?
No, if it's scary, it's not on my
Think it was a little
list of
scary.
things.
Why did
to
you watch
watch.
scary movies? You scared?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
All right. So Ray, what about you? What would be an experience that you've had where you've dealt with a difficult agent? Was it a transaction? Was it during a one-on-one with somebody?
Do I really want to answer this question?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you have no
gonna
choice.
I'm going to get killed.
Don't drop no names though. We're
I
not
won't
gonna
drop names. I won't drop names, but I work with a lot of agents here in this community locally that are more than happy to accommodate and be kind and be nice and be...
Two-faced.
I
No,
won't
not
use
the
the
right
word
answer.
two-faced. I won't use the word two-faced because that's more personal. This is more business, right? Until something doesn't go their way.
Right.
And then they get evil. And I don't like that. I think that's bullcrap. So if you're one of those agents that acts like that, stop.
Well, and
You
then
can't
too,
get your way, your full way in an entire transaction.
Yeah.
It's a negotiation. It's between the buyers and sellers. It doesn't have anything to do with your attitude-y asses. And you need to keep it between the buyer and seller. You know?
I think
And
that's where they fail is because they bring
take
their
it personal.
well, and then on top of that too, I feel like you've got what is anybody coming into the business is you've got the new agent versus the seasoned agent. Not that all seasoned agents are difficult agents, but I do think that there are some that have created that habit and they've kept going the same way. And obviously we know in real estate, everything's evolving, it's advancing.
Yeah.
You have to evolve with it. You can't
some
stay
of
stuck
those
in the past.
seasoned agents are getting left behind and they don't even know it.
But the fact is it's the attitudes change. And so when you go in, no offense, but they think their shit don't stink. So
Oh,
when you try
absolutely.
to negotiate a deal with them, you're shut down immediately. And the fact is we're supposed to still be taking everything to the seller.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of them are trying to speak on the seller's behalf.
Without even speaking to them and
Yeah.
without even presenting it properly to the seller.
Have you had any issues with that, Carrie, with working with Ray as far as transactions, having difficult agents?
Absolutely. I think, I mean, it just goes based off of what he said. It's just they will respond before even, I would say, talking to the seller. And he pretty much calls it. He's like, they haven't even talked to them. I can tell you they haven't even talked to them.
It's like 3 minutes later, like 2 minutes later. You can't properly.
Or you got the ones that say, "Oh, I know they're not going to accept that." So,
well, good for you. I'm glad that you know that. Now there are some sellers, especially like new construction. Like there's some things with new construction where the seller is going to tell you, "I'm not going to do that." So you need to just tell them that.
I'm glad that you brought new construction up because for us, sometimes we don't get an immediate response from the seller in new construction. So it may seem like we are the actual difficult agents, but I try during a transaction to be as communicative as I can with them because I don't ever want them to think
like that about you, actually.
That what?
That you're communicative.
Is that a word? No.
I don't know, but I like it. It sounds good.
I communicate very
communicative.
Look, that's like my calendarize on one of the
communicative. We should start a list. We should start a list. We should have a little whiteboard back here and just add a new list to it. Can we do that? We'll just tuck it back here behind the cameras and when it comes out. So we've got 2 to put on it.
But I do try to stay up on the communication because I don't ever want
because
them
you're
to
communicative.
think, oh my gosh, because I don't want them to think that we aren't doing what we're supposed to be doing. So
I agree.
And we are all the time, every second of every day.
I mean,
and maybe I think a little bit further in depth when it comes to it. Like we were talking about boundaries last week and how to set those healthy boundaries, whether it's personal life or work. And I think that also plays a huge role too, because you have these agents where they say, "Oh, I'm out at 7 p.m. I'm not doing anything else."
And that's okay.
But you've got things that need immediate attention or you need an answer because obviously we know lenders, or if you're doing title work or your
time is
sales,
money.
It is.
Time is money. You've got people that are on tight schedules.
They're
that
waiting
have to get stuff done. They're waiting. Yeah.
Now I could understand if it's not an issue.
Other offers could be
pressing.
coming in. Like you can't get in it. You submit an offer and you can't get an answer tonight. In the meantime, 2 other offers could come in.
My biggest pet peeve with difficult agents is it's not necessarily their attitude. It's the fact that they don't answer the phone.
I was about to say the same thing. It's the communication.
Yeah.
Like just say, "Hey, I don't have an answer for you," or "Hey,
and don't tell me that you're busy all damn day and you cannot answer the phone, because if I'm contacting you during work hours and I see that you've read it,
and you look at their sales for the year and it's October and they have 1.8 million in sales.
Well, it's not even that. You've got high producing agents that are out there too, and I get it. You're busy. You got a lot of stuff on your plate, but at the same time, if I text you and you've got your read receipts on and I can see that you've read it and you're choosing not to respond to me, I'm going to be livid.
Like really livid?
Yeah, like that.
Even if it's 7 o'clock at night and that's the parameter
that burns me up. Because if I texted you at 3 p.m. that day and you're choosing not to respond and you read it.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you text me at 7:30 and I get back to you tomorrow morning at 9:30, is that okay?
That to me is completely understandable depending on a case-by-case basis. Yeah. Because if it's something that is pressing that needs to be done before tomorrow, why didn't you do it during the day, sir?
Most agents will do stuff into the night, though. Most agents, especially if
I'm an executive assistant and I still do it. If it comes through my email, I at least try to respond that I received it so they know. Like, I think not communicating back is what is so frustrating for me. Just let me know that you received it at least. So.
Well, and then I think on top of that, too, you've got, it's not always just that. I feel like if you email an agent or you call or you text and you're getting no response, and then you find here it's going on day 3 and you're doing a checkup status because you haven't heard anything and they went on vacation, but you didn't set yourself up to have a plan of action while you were gone. I mean, we got one individual here at the office that decided to just go on vacation and leave their work for somebody else. But we're gonna
who did that? Who did that? Who went on vacation? That is not true.
But all in all,
did you not get the memo, by the way?
What memo?
The memo?
Oh, to wear pink
shirt? Where's your memo?
Did you know they made a band called Black Pink?
On Wednesdays we wear pink.
Black Pink.
Black Pink.
No.
Black Pink.
No, on Wednesdays we wear pink.
We do? Sounds right.
I don't.
Did we just start that today?
That was from Mean Girls.
Oh, is it? I know.
Go ahead, say you don't know that either. What was it? He said he didn't
Girls.
know Spice
If you
Girls.
want to be my lover. It's because he's 50.
Are we going back down this road again? I feel like we're repeating.
I will not pick on you anymore.
No, it's okay. I don't mind.
We actually just had an incident yesterday where
with who?
We had the agent that messaged me on Facebook that was upset about not hearing back about the offer she had submitted. And she wrote, like, her last message to me was, I'm a little scared to do a transaction
Oh, yeah, with the other guy.
if this is the way it's going to be.
Yeah, but that was a Sunday night. She submitted Sunday night. It's Monday morning. Like,
Yeah, so it's
but
like,
he had a
where's the level?
responsibility. He had a
Yeah.
responsibility. He should have said, hey, got your offer. I'm going to present tomorrow at 6:00.
Yeah.
Is this still on the line of difficult agents or difficult clients?
Yeah, no, that's difficult agent.
It's different. I mean,
It's
I don't
the
think
other way.
she's-
She wasn't being difficult.
I don't think
No,
she was
no,
being
no.
difficult. I think she was, but like, where
She
do
pulled
you
the
draw
trigger a
line?
little fast to be sending the message in.
Well, she had submitted the offer, but she had already been asking him questions prior
Yeah.
because
He didn't
docs
answer the
were- Yeah, he
questions.
didn't answer
Yeah,
the
that's the
questions.
problem.
She asked for the disclosures that weren't in the MLS. It was just like a whole thing. And then she's like,
Yeah.
now I'm just, he won't even tell me if he received the offer. So
You know, funny that you also mentioned disclosures, because that's another one of my pet peeves, is that if you're going to put a listing on the market and then you don't put any documents
absolutely.
that go with the property. And I know it's different for everybody. I've always been taught, especially about Amy Demers, for another big one. She's huge when it comes to public records because
Yeah.
you're selling the biggest investment for these clients. And so they
I know
should
people
know,
act like it's a T-shirt. You know, it's not a T-shirt. It's a house.
but they should know everything about it. If you're not putting at least 6 to 9 documents in your documents tab that are attached to this property, I
Right.
feel like you're wrong. If I see you put no
Some
documents,
agents don't even know where to find it.
no, okay, so I will actually say let's put it out there real quick because I know that we're talking about North Carolina specific. However, I'm curious to any of our listeners or viewers that are in other states. How do you guys typically do business when it comes to pertinent documents from public records on your properties? Do you guys make sure that those are put there for your other agents, or how do you guys go about doing that? Leave us some feedback in the
I'd
comment
like to see
section.
that.
Because I know that this is what we do. We obviously try to make sure we're preparing that buyer's agent so they have everything laid out for them. Their job should be easy.
Right.
But then there are some where I find myself having to go searching for all these public records because all you wanted to put in there was the residential property disclosure.
Right.
Where's the septic permit?
Right.
Where's the plat map? Like what?
I mean, at a minimum, some of that stuff has to be in there. Like,
Right. Do you pull all that stuff, Carrie?
Yes.
See, to me, it should be.
But also Amy Demers was the one who taught me. So, well, I learned from another agent, and then she just was pretty much the mold for how they were supposed to look. So,
What you doing over there?
Playing with my microphone.
All right, Ray, what is one of your pet peeves that bothers you with difficult agents? Do you have anything that just kind of like sets you over the edge?
You know, I've been doing it for so long. I really don't let anything bother me like that anymore. But one thing that used to bother me a lot is when an agent would try to ask us a question about and I keep referring to new construction, ask us about our new construction. And then maybe, because sometimes it takes a while to get that stuff back. When they start asking for all these different quotes, for all these different plans, they think it's as simple as, hey, how much is this? They have to find out the new stuff. They got to find out what plan it is. They got to find out what stage of construction it's in. They got to find out, is there new cost? So sometimes it could take 24 to 48 hours to get an upgrade cost. I would have agents call the construction office,
oh, they still do.
which is the same thing as calling
still
your
do.
seller.
Yeah.
That'd be like if you had a listing and I told you, hey, 123 Davis Street, I need this answer on it. And then you didn't get back to me and I called your seller directly.
True.
I called them and flipped on them a couple times when I was younger, and I used to flip. I don't really flip anymore, but I flipped out on this one lady's assistant. And she demanded that I apologize to her. I said, no. I said, I'm not going to apologize because your assistant is inadequate and didn't understand that she should not call my seller. And you trained her inadequately as well.
So, were you being a difficult agent at that point?
No, I was not.
What could you have done better in that situation?
I could have said, please don't let your assistant call my person anymore.
Why do you say it like that?
Well, because it's like, no, I couldn't have been. I could have been, but I didn't want to be.
I think I like to consider myself to be what I call a respectful asshole.
Oh,
Yes,
Where-
I'm just an asshole.
But it like
Ask her out.
if there is something obviously that
Better ask
annoys
somebody.
me
Facts.
or I have an
up.
issue with it all the way down to a closing attorney or a lender on the other end, because time is of the essence. We've written that in. We know that every day that it's getting postponed or delayed, it's costing that seller more money.
Yep.
Money is being involved. All these different things are happening. And so for me, instead of just coming straight across as an asshole, I do like to Be respectful. It's
Is
like
this-
give
is it-
that compliment and then like
Oh, me too.
your hair is pretty, but
Your hair is really pretty, but your face is messed up.
Oh my
Is that
God.
what you're saying?
No. But I mean, obviously, I feel like if I'm going to send emails or I'm going to send a text message, obviously everything is in writing. So you want to make sure that you come across a certain way.
Yeah.
So respectfully,
Your
I will get my
smile
point
is
across.
beautiful, but your teeth are crooked.
Oh my gosh. I disrespectfully put someone in their place. I will be as respectful as possible. And we've had it
Passive
happen.
aggressive?
Yep, pretty much. But I do it is like, hey.
Sometimes you got to check them.
Yeah.
But then are you being the difficult agent, right? Are we being the
No,
pain in the ass? Are
because-
we being the
look,
uppity season?
So I feel like if
that's the question. It's a balance, right? It's a balance.
I think it's you are not the difficult agent. It's just like a constant that they are just being difficult on the other side, and it makes
like
you
the
react.
screens
Yeah.
and the appraisal, not ordering the appraisal until the screens were in completely.
Right. I
Ooh.
would.
If that's you, sorry, but that was incorrect.
I would
I
take
know
that
you're
as
listening out there.
stop.
God.
But
I
that
would
was for
take
you.
that as very difficult as, hey, we have a process. I was very upfront. This is how we do new constructions. When we hit this stage, you need to order the initial appraisal.
Right.
It did not get ordered until after CO was issued. And per the contract, they only have 14 days to close. It delayed closing.
We're still not closed.
Yeah, but technically, I feel like too,
not.
aren't you ordering
Oh,
like
close that
for
today,
new
though.
construction? You're
closing
wanting to
today.
order that appraisal once it reaches about 80%, right?
Yes. And I explained that up front. So the conversation went, she was like, well, I don't want to order a reappraisal for $150. And he was like, I don't know what you said.
I mean, it's just
was-
really part of the
was-
process with new construction. You should be preparing your buyers that that's how the new construction works. If you're doing a pre-sale,
And there
you know,
was
while
just like
there's
an
construction
exchange
going
where, she
was
thought that
stingy.
she thought he was being inconsiderate and was like, well, it's not your
did?
150. You remember? She said that. She was like,
Really?
well, it's not your $150.
she said that to me.
Yeah.
See, I just let that
So
stuff
that, I feel like in that situation, it is hard to deal with an agent that is,
Tug and pull
Can we flip?
Yeah.
Can we flip the script for a minute though?
as far as.
Can we also try to be more understanding though? Because agents have bad days, they have bad weeks, they have things going on. So sometimes maybe we just ask them, "What's the matter with you today? You okay? You need some help?
So
You need me to stop by?"
I also look. We all got lives. We all got personal problems.
Yeah.
We all got drama.
It's part of being
goes for
it's part of being a
everybody.
professional, right? Like
It is.
you cross the line when you let your personal life make you.
But I also feel
Irritable.
like too
But
that it
it's
should
part of life.
stay professional while in the transaction,
sure,
regardless of what you're going through. I mean, yeah, you could easily tell the other agent, "Hey, I apologize. Please be patient with me. I've got a lot of things on my plate right now, but I am getting it done." If it's handled that way, it's a little bit more understanding and it's more reasonable as to just coming off and cussing me out over the phone because you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
I think that's where I struggle is you want me to
struggle
treat you with
cussing people out.
respect. No, I don't. You want me to treat you with respect, but what you're giving back to me is very disrespectful.
Correct.
Is that a little tit
Yes.
for tat?
Yeah, I'm like,
Sometimes somebody's got to go first, you know.
I did want to jump back on the seasoned agents and the new agents. I feel like a lot of the seasoned agents are more aggressive or
They are more aggressive.
to the younger agents because of, I hate hearing, well, what does their license number start with? Like, what does it matter? You were a baby
said that
agent
recently.
once.
We said that to Terry Smith in the interview.
Look, forgive me
you?
for not having 4 numbers on my license number.
Yeah. There was something else too I wanted to go back on that you were saying about the professionalism and stuff like that. The thing you got to understand about the real estate business is there's not a huge bar set for who can come into the real estate business.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of people that come in the real estate business that have never been a professional. They've never been at a professional organization or an institution.
Well, or even done customer service.
or done
period.
customer service. They just come in and start selling real estate because they get a license.
I bet
So
you they're the ones at
so those are
McDonald's
the
saying, "I asked for no onions."
I asked
That would be me.
Look, my sister's real bad. She'll go there. She hates onions so bad that she'll tell him, "I am deathly allergic to onions. Can you please not put that on my burger?" And
gonna
she
start
will
doing
throw
it.
a fit.
You know what I hate? I hate when I'm in the car and I'm ordering with like people in the car and I'm like, all right, I'll have number 3 with a Diet Coke. And then the other person's like, I want a number 3, but I don't want any ketchup and I don't want any onions. And oh, can you put bacon on that? Oh, and a side of guacamole. Like, how much stuff
Where
do you
the hell are
need
you
on that?
ordering that's got guacamole on a fast food
I'm just
list?
I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
doesn't that drive you crazy? It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
No, because I order for everybody. I say, hey, what do you want? I try to get there before we even get up to the menu. You should already know how many times you've been there.
Yeah.
You've
I'll
been
take
there
a burger
enough.
with no ketchup. That's my son Jacob. He's like, I'll take a burger with ketchup.
I'm only indecisive
That's it. Just
if I go to Taco Bell because they always have like that movie menu where it shows you all the new shit they got on their menu. I'm like, oh, I ain't never seen that before. I need to get me that taco.
You can't even order at the counter at Taco Bell anymore. Kiosk.
It's the same with
one I
McDonald's.
was at
I
the other day.
There's a
think
lot of
you
places
still
going
can
that way.
order. Yeah.
It's so annoying.
Why?
Takes forever.
I like it because then I can take my time if I want to.
I don't want to take my time. I want to be in and out. Take my order.
This is not In and Out.
Speaking of In and Out, did you know we're also supposed to be getting an In and Out?
What?
Is that coming to
The
Swansboro?
beach?
The
No.
beach. Emerald Isle?
Surf
Thompson
City.
Beach.
Oh, wow.
I will drive to Surf City for it. I will.
I've never had In
When
and
did
Out.
they open? We should do a remote
Crickets.
podcast.
Where's
right
the
there,
crickets?
my friend.
I don't know.
So, any other difficult agents that you've ever dealt with? Let's just name drop them.
No.
I'm just kidding. I know at least 4 of them.
Right. I think we have to take in consideration of like, are they having a bad day?
Yeah.
But I did lose a little respect for an agent who I thought very highly of after listening to him in
sorry.
a
My
transaction
bad.
with you.
Ooh, I know exactly who you're talking about. I'll say his name.
No, and
I'll say their name.
It broke my heart listening to him speak, and I was like,
They will show you who they are.
It was
Yes, and they're the first ones to try to throw someone else under the
Wait,
bus. Oh my
what
gosh! I'm
upsets
so
me
glad you
is
said
he
that. I'm so
called-
glad you made her permanent. This is
he
good.
called to figure out how to help, and what he got in return was just like,
Was F you, man. I'm not helping. I don't
Yep.
give a shit about you. I don't give a shit about the seller, and I don't give a shit about nobody else.
basically. And
But
so,
I said, cool. That's your category, bro. So when I see you and I don't speak to you,
yeah.
because I'm not one of those fake people either. Like like I'm real. People make mistakes, but if somebody says something to me, like
I saw him
That's
at an outing, and he came up to me and spoke to me, and I literally looked through
Did
his
you
soul.
say hi?
I said hi, and
I
then
know what
he's-
outing that was at.
And
I was
then
there
he
too.
stood there for like 20
Clueless.
seconds,
Clueless.
and I was just like,
Clueless as to
it just broke my heart
Yeah.
because you were trying to help, and he just was not making the
Yeah.
situation any better.
but it's okay, you know. And look, people learn too, right? Like the people have to go through their peaks and valleys in this business. Like I was always taught to try to take the high road, even if it costs you a little money.
And I think that was the problem, was the money. Like, hey, if we both can come to an agreement, we can get over
Yeah.
this. And
But
he was like,
yeah.
I ain't giving up none of my money. I was
It
like,
wasn't my fault.
But
I
look,
didn't do it.
so that's another thing that,
He's not wrong. He wasn't wrong, but
Yeah,
that's just not the
but-
way you treat people.
Yeah.
There's a way to treat people and a way not to treat.
but that's why it's always been the familiar saying, well, one, the golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
But also I've always believed in, don't forget where you come from. But then again, there are some that
You don't
already
want me
come,
to act like where I come from.
but there's already people that do come from money. So that's just what they're used to. But I know for myself, I did not come from money. So I want to
Nobody
make sure that I'm very humble
actually
whenever I
comes
come
from
across. There are some that do. It's handed to them.
No.
yes, there is.
But I'm not pointing that out by saying that all difficult agents came from money because that is not what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
You
at
guys
all.
missed what I was getting at.
Well, I don't know where you were going with
We all
it,
come
right?
from our parents. Nobody comes from money.
home.
Just saying.
Do you guys hear this shit?
I think it's fun. Are you guys not having fun?
Yes. All right. Back to what I was saying though. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because it can go same from new agent to seasoned agents. Over the years, yes, you're going to get better. Your production's going to get better. Your volume's going to get better. You're going to start to build up that reputation. But over time, I do think that burnout sets in.
Oh, yeah.
I think that the stress, mood swings, all that stuff comes into play too. And so I feel like over the years, it eats at you and eats at you and eats at you to where you just become this stubborn person.
Callous is the word that I was.
I also think once you hit that level that you need to make sure that you have someone underneath you that can pick up the weight so you aren't as snippy
Agreed.
or, hey,
Agreed.
do this, do that. Like at the end of the day, you have to make sure you are setting yourself up to not burn yourself out.
Now, there is a lot of season agents out there. Ray, I'll say you're one of them. There's a lot of season agents that are out there that
Like Old Bay.
are very generous. They're very kind.
Thank you.
They're very
Thank you.
respectful.
Oh my God, thank you.
We've got a big one in the firm right now, Mandy
you so
Mowry.
much.
She's been in the business for a real long time. And the fact that she doesn't care what your license number is, how long you've been in the business.
She's always helpful.
She will help you through the transaction, but make sure it still stays confidential.
Yeah.
Because we're all here to get the job done together. It's a win-win. We're here for the clients. The goal is to sell the house.
Nobody's better
There's a
than
fine
anybody.
line. There's a fine line between your fiduciary responsibilities and getting the deals where they got to go. And I would say that as long as we're getting to closing, we are supporting that fiduciary responsibility.
Right.
That's the goal, is to get it closed.
Well, and I definitely think that there's always going to be two types of agents. There's going to be the ones that are in it for the right reasons. You're helping families. You're giving them the biggest investment of their lives, the American dream. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
But then you have some that come in here thinking, oh, real estate's easy. Anybody can do it. And they're just here for the money. They're here to collect a paycheck.
Right.
They're not paying attention to the factor of what are you going to do in 3 years when it's time to sell this home? Or when you're a military personnel and you're about to PCS, are you going to have a property that you can sell that's going to make equity over the time you've owned it?
Yes.
Or did I just screw you over and now you're going to have to pay to get out of your house?
I got you stuck in a house that you're going to be stuck in.
Yeah.
There's no equity in it. There's no chance for equity in it.
There was an agent, his name's Keith Kurse. I actually watched him do a deal with a buyer, and he said, I understand that you're approved for 220, but you are going to be house poor. He was like, I don't feel comfortable. Like, if that's what you want to do, I will show you all of those houses. But
He learned that from me, actually.
Did he?
I'm the one that taught him that.
Really?
Yeah.
And I just thought it was so, like, it brought so much respect for him to talk to them like, here are your other options. We can buy a house. At that time, VA foreclosures were big, and they got this beautiful house in River Bluffs for $200,000.
Did they resell it later? They still live
No,
there?
they still live there.
They still live there? I bet that house is worth like $350 now.
Yep, they still live there, and he just pretty
Tell
much.
them I'll give them $215.
Oh my God. It was just really nice, and I've always admired Keith for that, because I do think that he does it for the investments of people and not just for a paycheck.
Right.
So
Keith's my homeboy from way back.
Keith's everybody's homeboy.
No. Keith and I, we got some.
y'all did y'all's first transaction together, right?
We
The
done
double
more,
wide.
We done more than that together. Me and Keith used to kick it. We used to travel.
We're trying to get him.
out
We're
and
trying to
have
get
fun.
ready to go to Puerto Rico for his 50th
Yeah.
50th birthday. I'm like,
What do you mean? Who said try? Try. I'm just waiting on them to give me the resort so I can make my travel plans. We have to record this deal on a Friday here.
Look, check out the real estate down there. The real estate is phenomenal. It's
I'm going down
gorgeous.
there to definitely check out the real estate.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to check out real estate.
So Ray Evans
you
is
were-
about to become a difficult agent. I'm going to show you how to deal with it.
No. That's it.
All right. So no, back on track. I mean,
Carrie, you
I
suck.
do. What did you just say?
He said
Carrie's
I suck.
awesome. Carrie's the greatest. Carrie, what song did I send you earlier when you sent me that?
Something
basket?
woman.
Carrie said, would you text me?
Tell me I'm your favorite.
Tell me
assistant.
I'm the best assistant in the world. So I sent her the Bee Gees song. More than a woman.
I feel bad for anybody who's listening to this in their car.
You want to bring her on? This is what we do all day.
But no, I feel like there's definitely different scenarios and different reasons for difficult agents. I don't think they're all put in one box, but I do think that we could all be better, even myself.
We just need to treat each other with kindness.
And just
love.
remember that it's between the buyer and the seller, not the agent. So
And that's what
there's
you have to
no-
remember too. If you're like engaging with them, you have to also think, hey, I might understand this between the buyer and seller. Obviously, for some reason or another, this agent that you're co-broking with may be having a little issue with that or not understand that fully yet. Just gently remind them,
Yeah.
hey man, I understand. Here's the role play on it, right? I'm presenting this to you and you say to me, my seller's not going to accept that. Well, listen, man, I understand that that's how you may feel, but at the end of the day, it's between the buyers and the sellers. So just do me a favor, present it to them and let me know what they say.
I agree with that. I do think
Simple. You can diffuse it.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where I feel like some people take it to heart when they say you're there to protect your clients. Yeah. Yes, we're all there to protect our buyers. We're there to protect our sellers. But at the same time, that doesn't mean bring a knife to the negotiation table and stab me as I'm trying to negotiate a deal with you.
Depends on how much the deal is.
I also like to just be in their shoes if they were if you were representing the buyer,
Right.
what would you ask for? If you were representing the seller, what would you ask for? I think that is one thing. And then obviously like, hey, it's between the buyer and the seller, but nothing is unreasonable. I feel like everything can be worked out or negotiated.
We had an agent here one time before the market went bananas a couple years ago, and everybody started using the due diligence fee that has been in the contract for like years. Okay, I would utilize that on a regular basis. And the agent came to me, one of the agents that was at my office goes, "Hey man, you're screwing your buyer over if you do that." I go, "Well, how am I screwing my buyer over? We won the contract."
Yeah.
"Well, what if the thing falls through and they lose their money?" I go, "Well, what if the thing falls through and they lose their money?" This is what they wanted to do. We knew we were in a competing offer situation back before there was a bunch of competing offers. And I advised them to do this. Now, I evaluated the property with them. We took a look at it. I'm not going to use due diligence fee on a property that's fallen down because that doesn't make any sense, right? But it was a couple-year-old house, but that's a situation where that agent let his own feelings get in the way of negotiating the best deal for a client.
Yeah.
Like he's saying, "Oh, well, they're going to lose their money." Well, only if the deal falls through.
That's true.
And as long as I've made them aware of this risk, right, it's okay. But some agents use their own life experiences and the fact that they don't really have $500 to lose. They project that onto their clients.
Right.
Or right now, people are saying, "Hey, nobody's got any money." Well, that's just not true. People got plenty of money right now.
Well, I think with that, that's going to bring us pretty much to a close on
We
this
have
one.
to stop already.
Yeah, we got to look. We had a good time. That's a good thing. But I definitely think we covered a lot of ground here as far as difficulties with agents and how to deal with them, but also how we could fix ourselves, including us, not just putting it out there on them like we're the perfect ones. But I do think that there are multiple avenues of how we could all do better. And because we're all here to do the same thing, the main goal is to get these clients the homes that they're looking for, get the homes sold for the clients that are moving somewhere else, starting a new chapter in their lives. And so I just tell
We got
everyone,
to treat people well.
yeah, have a little bit of grace, have a little bit of respect.
Grace is important.
Be blessed. Let's put hashtag blessed. We'll put all that out there. But ultimately, I just wanted to cover that episode because I feel like it's on a lot of people's minds right now because the market is starting to heat back up again. Not just here, but in other states as well. But definitely, like I said, viewers and listeners, leave your comments and your feedback for us so that way we know how to respond back to you, but also be a little bit more insight on what you guys have in your area, not so much just what we do locally here, because I know we do have followers that are in other states as well. So I think that concludes our episode.
Is that a wrap?
That is a wrap. How do you feel, Carrie?
I feel good. I just wanted to say, be the person you want to work with.
Yep.
So
All
I thought
right.
it was a great episode.
So with that being said, like, share, subscribe. Follow us on what, Ray?
Instagram. Hold on.
You
Hold
can
on. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube.
There you go.
And
But
do it.
like
and
you
check
said,
it
you
out.
can also follow us on
Sorry, you
Instagram
caught me off
and
guard with
TikTok
that.
as well.
Yeah.
Ooh, TikTok too, right?
Yep. All right, you guys. It's been fun.
TikTok.
Good to
Don't
see you
stop.
guys.
I'm going to a golf tournament.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.